49, guys. We're almost on episode 50.
Oh, snap.
And we're almost on episode
3
52.
weeks from now, which should be a playoff episode, we will be talking about how if you listen to an episode every week, you'll have a year of episodes.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of rad.
Truly 1868 weekly.
Yes.
That means we need to have, once playoffs come, we need to have like a special, year-end special.
We should have
And
year-end
playoffs.
special, like after playoffs.
Okay.
But I think I'm going to attempt, once we find out who our opponent is, to reach out to a fellow podcast, to get them on. I'm hoping it's going to be somebody that we've never had on. Like, I'd love to talk to the guys behind Sacramento's podcast, or something like that. All good for that?
Well, the way it's looking, it might be Los Dos, so I don't know if we're going to get that.
No, they should have a podcast. If not, maybe I can reach out to Angels on Parade. Actually, they cover LAFC.
Chivas 2.0. Yeah, no, they I think it's Corner of the Galaxy.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll see what happens this weekend, and then we'll.
Do they cover Galaxy 1 though?
They're mainly a Senior G's podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know if they
I
cover
mean, they
two.
should know enough to cover a 2-team.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So I'll reach out. I mean, worst case scenario, like when I reach out to the guys behind Vegas, they'll just be like, "I'm busy." And I'll be like, "Okay, move on with my life." If that's the case, Mr. Harry has been wanting to get back on the show, so we can have him. The dude knows his soccer, so.
And since his team will be out of playoffs, I mean,
He'll be
it's
completely
not a
unbiased.
guarantee. It's not a guarantee, but it's like, can I turn my thank you. Since the team is gonna be more than likely out of playoffs.
San Antonio?
Yeah, they're
No.
sitting like 12th right now, I thought.
No, they're in 10th, and they're playing Colorado Springs in the last
Oh
game.
yeah,
They're
never mind.
in.
You
They're
want to do
in.
me a huge favor, Matt?
Yeah.
Will you pull up the standings and we'll show them during the show?
Yeah.
I meant to do that, and then I forgot. All right, let's see. Where's Roy's
Well, let me make a window for it.
All right, I'm posting this to the Facebook page.
Okay. And then we'll start once you're done with that.
As usual, 15 minutes late.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think.
Almost.
I mean, the two people who join us are probably really sad.
No, the two people that join us are us, I think.
I'm not even on it today.
Okay.
I can't find Roy's predictions.
Yeah, Hannah watched last week. Bless her soul.
I followed you guys and I didn't get a shout out.
Followed us?
Yeah.
Like I love how she's like criticizing us
subscribed
like,
on
right
YouTube.
behind you.
I know.
Followed us on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, you can give her a shout out.
Subscribed, yeah. Here's your shout out. It's technically on the YouTube video, the beginning.
Dude, I cannot find Roy's prediction. Ugh. I'm all nasally. Sucks. Yeah, next year I'll also make a better push to keep records of this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's if, yeah.
Shit, come on.
That's if we don't change it up and get rid of it and find something better to do with our time.
Okay, so
Alrighty.
I have a comment on our episode on Twitter, and I know it's Roy, but it won't let me see it. And it's actually driving me nuts. I don't know. Maybe it was on Facebook. Curse having 8 million different posts. Matt.
Curse it. Yep.
No, it says that there's a comment, but it's not showing up. I'm on
Okay,
Twitter
so
too.
you're it's the same with you. and he gets on. Okay, let's see. Why is it you got the problem with my social media too is I get Colo stuff.
Do you know what Roy's Twitter is?
Yeah, it should be Roy Douglas.
Yeah. I don't see him.
Even
I think
like
he
the
might have gotten
replies and
blocked
everything.
or something or banned.
Yeah, I'm trying to go through the replies because he usually comments on the actual posts.
Yeah, but if he gets banned, I think it like doesn't allow us to see.
Did he get banned again?
I
All right, so it's not Douglas Alley. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't
don't know.
know.
Look at what Douglas Alley is.
All right, well, since I can't find it, I'm just gonna say nobody won. All right,
Deal.
you guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's do this. What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode number 49 of 1868 Weekly. I'm your host, John Macaluso. Today, joined by Brad Polonsky. Brad, how the heck are you today?
I'm exhausted. Believe it or not, 14 hours of driving in 2 days is not the most ideal of conditions.
Yeah, that'll tire you out. We are also joined and returned by the one and the only Lieutenant Dangle, Matt Rafferty. Matt, how are you today?
Hey, I'm back, baby. I'm doing all right. A little beat up, but I'm here, man.
All right, glad to have you back. Having Chris Malinab last week was awesome, but we gotta have our Matt. We gotta have our Matt. The only other beard on the podcast, and we need it. You got some stuff going on today in the background.
Yeah.
I have a guess. For your background, not the GIF. But so we're gonna do that in a second. Talk to us about what you got going on in the corner there.
Yeah, this is just my newest creation. I had today off, so I figured I'd just play around a little bit. We had watched the replay of the entire match when we got back into town, just because we just wanted to turn our brains off and just maybe like rewatch and get a little more detail. But noticed this tasty little highlight and figured it would be perfect since Reno did knock Vegas out of the playoffs. I mean, not entirely mathematically, but I mean, as far as like probability, yeah, they're gone. So this is to celebrate that. Oh, no sound.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with my mic. Anyway, it works now. So, what is the probability that our little brothers down south make the playoffs?
It's kind of slim to none. I know it's way less than 1%.
Less than 1%.
Much less than 1%.
They would have to score. They would have to win by a lot, and San Antonio would have to lose by a lot to make that happen.
A lot being like 10.
Yeah, at least 5 each on each side. Yeah, so
it's more than that. They're like at a minus like 14 or 15 from, and exactly like 3 points from the team that they'd have to overtake it. So it'd have to be like 7 points each team.
Yeah, that's
sorry.
That's not happening. So.
Oh no.
Nope. Who does San Antonio have coming up?
The Switchbacks. So bottom of the table right now. I think they should be able to handle them. Harry might sarcastically say otherwise, though.
Right. Well, we will find out what happens there. Not really too worried about it. If by some miracle they do get in, they've probably got Phoenix, and that's not going to be a thing. So, anyway, yeah, and that's for those who are on the podcast. This is Haji's goal, the second goal against Las Vegas Lights on Saturday. Pretty clean goal. I think it's a little bit harder to make those goals when you're so far outside of the box, on the far right or on the far left. So good shot from Haji. I also think that I think that's Corey, right? Or is that Danny?
Yep, it's Corey.
It's Corey. Corey probably would have cleaned it up if it, for some reason, had made it in.
I think he noticed that it was going in. He wanted him to have the credit.
He's not like us when we try to steal each other's goals.
Well, we're not champions like Corey.
Right, exactly. So, really pretty solid game from Reno. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Some other things we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the upcoming match. The last game of the year, guys. Last game of the year, and it's not in Reno. But we have good news for all of those fans who are in Reno, and we'll talk about that coming right up. First, let's talk about your background, Matt. My guess, it's clearly Nevada, right?
Yes.
I'm going to guess Sun Valley.
No, it's not.
Is it around the Reno area, or is it like somewhere else?
No, I'll give you a hint. It was on our way back from Vegas.
I was gonna say that. No.
Say, Brad, you just saw this.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh yes, this looks familiar. It looks like literally every beautiful mountain in between, or like hillscape in between. Um, what time did you guys head out yesterday?
Oh, 11?
Oh, so before me. So then this could have been. This looks to be about night. So if you left at around 11, this might have been over by like Hawthorne.
Nah,
Or
that's
not
way back.
Okay.
This is actually on
Yerington?
Alt 95. Yeah, it's kind of on the way to Yerington.
Okay. That's that. I couldn't think of the name of that small little Indian reservation or village, in between here and there.
I wasn't even close.
Nah.
There
were
all that smoke in the background, though. That is smoke, right?
Yeah, I think it's a little combination of smoke and just the way the light was coming in.
Yeah, if it was a lot further back, it was probably smoke from LA. They're having like insane fires in LA right now.
Yeah, because we got when we were down there for our vacation, we got hit by the Santa Ana winds, and oh geez, I can understand how they can spread some fires.
Yeah.
They're vicious.
Yeah, really. So cool, we got that out of the way. Feel free to bring that GIF back up. We're gonna go ahead and start talking about this match. What do we think, Brad? We'll start with you. What are your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, honestly, I thought, first thought, second consecutive shutout for the team. Different goalies, same result. I thought the defense played really well with Emra back in the lineup. Couple of chances given that were flubbed by Vegas, but the number of chances that usually we see were down with, like Vegas only really even getting 4 shots on net all game. So much better defensive play from Reno. I'm personally, I know that Reno was very aggressive the second half, even up 2 goals at some points. I'm still personally not super excited with how the offense has been recently. Kind of wishing that we put in a couple more goals. Definitely had the opportunity to do so, but I'm not disappointed at the end of the day. You can't lose a game if you can't allow your opponents to score 0.
Yeah.
So,
All right,
to score more than 0.
Matt, any thoughts or responses? Muted.
Sorry, I was blowing my nose and I forgot. All right, so I actually thought they put together a pretty good job today on Saturday, especially considering Vegas is actually pretty good at home. Their record is pretty damn solid, and they're actually been looking better than us the last few weeks. I mean, comparatively compared to the rest of the season. But Reno came out, played their game. They constantly played from the back, played it smart. They had their counterattacks here and there, but really they played the Ian ball. They played that 4-4-2 diamond the way it should. And they were assaulting the goal the entire second half. When Vegas maybe had a couple of breakaway chances here and there, a couple were a little scary, and they forced Bersano to actually make some good saves. But aside from that, it was all Reno's game.
I'm gonna kind of agree with Brad here. I think that Reno probably should have had a lot more goals. A little bit disappointing to have a team have so many chances and only end up with 2 goals. Of course, I say that having won the game and clinched home playoffs, all of this stuff. So I'm just being nitpicky at this point. But really, I thought that shot from Haji is a really difficult shot. But he did a great job. He did a great job tripping up the goalie there, getting behind him and creating a little bit of space to kick that ball in.
I kind of
Go ahead, man.
disagree. Like, I think the goal. I think Thomas Olsen did that to himself. I don't think. I'm looking at this replay over and over and over again because it's just on Matt's screen.
He,
Yeah.
I don't think he touches it before Olsen just falls down in front of it.
No, but there are plenty of ways for a forward, I think, to make the mistake of kicking the ball right into the goalie or
Yeah.
doing a
No,
few
he
different
played it
things.
well.
Yeah.
He played it well. Good first goal for
And,
us.
yeah, totally. Like you could totally blame the goalie. He probably shouldn't have come so far out of the box.
It's a Vegas goalkeeper.
It's that's what happens when you leave Brad in the goal in Rocket League. Comes way out and then we get scored on.
Oh.
But no, I mean you really have to give credit to Haji for that. So great play from Haji. Great play. Great play, not messing that up because a lot of things can go wrong in that situation.
Tough
and-
angle.
Yeah,
Very,
totally,
very tough angle.
totally. So, yeah, really good goal. But there was another goal in this match, and it was I think they gave. Did they ended up giving the credit to Corey, didn't they? His name was the one that
No.
popped up on the broadcast. So yeah, it was definitely an own goal. I just wasn't sure if since it's an away, they're never going to give us the goal on that when it's an away goal.
It came off Yaventori.
Sure.
It was yeah.
So really, in the entirety of this year, Vegas has scored as many goals against us as they have against themselves.
ouch.
Right.
No, they scored more. They haven't scored against us.
Yeah,
this
they
year.
haven't scored us this year. They were 0-4 the first game.
Okay, so that's
They scored more against them than
that's
against
even
us.
better. So they scored more against themselves than against us. So great job, Vegas. Happy that you lost and we knocked off your playoff hopes while clinching home playoffs, and we won the Silver State Cup, which you guys at least got to see for a little bit while it was down there before we took it back home. And yeah. There's some things I kind of want to talk about as far as the broadcast is concerned, but I'm kind of curious as to whether you guys want to share some of your thoughts about being down there.
I tweeted it out during the game. This is not the fans themselves, good on Vegas for their biggest crowd of the year, a over sellout. I think that stadium's supposed to seat like 9,000 something fans, and they packed a little over 10,000 people in there. I get it. Their team's like on the cusp of playoffs against a rival, so it's easy for them to sell that atmosphere. But oh my God, just that stadium is the furthest thing you would want for a soccer stadium. It's a baseball stadium that's trying to be renovated, so I get it. Renovations haven't happened yet, but the scoreboard's dated, the foul poles are still up, the viewpoints are ugly. We were sitting all the way up there. It was kind of hard to see the field. And last but not least, and definitely the worst thing is in the middle of the game, if the ball's in play, you shouldn't be having your announcer like screaming through the speakers in the field. Just if the ball's out of play, go ahead and advertise your truck. But when your own team is attacking the net, don't advertise a truck. Come on, people.
It was really annoying, a little off-putting, especially when you're trying to listen to any of the chatter on the field or the atmosphere in the stadium, and all you hear is the same dude yelling into the speakers, like Brad was saying. Not only that, but trying to start chants, doing the Viva Light stuff. I mean, a lot of times that was to stop their supporters from dropping the P-bomb when Bersano was taking goal kicks.
That one's the
I
only acceptable time.
Right, because it's cute that
It's
they have
a
to try to
fine.
cover him up.
Yeah, it's a
But
fine.
otherwise, it's just crazy annoying, and I don't know. All the sounds should come from the fans and the players, not the FO.
Yeah. All right, my turn. So you guys complaining about the field experience. I'm gonna complain about the broadcast. The announcers were just straight garbage. So bad. I mean,
Homers.
oh, how can you listen to these people and think that they sound good enough to hire? It just boggles my mind. I mean, we have good announcers. I think Julian did a good job last week in his first showing, and then Morgulis is good as well. So, just I was watching it. I mean, I thought about texting you guys, but I didn't want to like ruin your good time if you were having one, which I hope you guys did. But I was just like, you guys should be really happy. I'm like looking up at my TV, just imagining how I was like, it's just awful. So just really bad. And I feel like mostly I've had a good experience with announcers this year. I think Orange County's announcers were really good. And there were a couple other matches where I thought, okay, these announcers are pretty solid. But Vegas' announcers, just like their team, are really not good. And that should be something that they should think about not keeping around next year. Just don't have any announcers, Vegas. Just
Do we know if they were Vegas announcers or were they Tampa announcers?
I don't know that I care. Like,
Because
you know what I
you're
mean?
not
'Cause
the only
it's just-
one.
it was just really not good. Do you
'Cause-
remember
yeah.
that analysis that we gave Matt or Chris crap for last week, where he's like,
Not the Jordan
the
one.
key of the match is to score more goals than the other team. That was the best announcing like that they had last week. Like really obvious junk. So it's just bad. I'm glad you guys were there. You didn't have to listen to that. It was awful.
I'm
I
glad
mean,
you guys were listening at home. You could at least mute it. We can't mute Mr. DJ
That's a good point.
Viva Lights. But you're not the only one that shares that sentiment about the announcing in the league. Ray Samora from Orange and Black posted a piece this morning on their page about the same thing happening against Sacramento with Sacramento's announcers, which are in-house. They were flubbing names like Vincius, you know. Jerry Van Wolfgang was listed as Jerry Van Ivik. And during the game in like the 70th somethingth minute, there was a handball call that pulled back a goal from Sacramento, and then a minute and a half later, there was a similar play that happened where Orange County scored a goal. And for the last 20 minutes of the game, the announcers complained about that. About how it's the worst refereeing they've ever seen, and it's kind of something that I've noticed across the league too, in being that announcers have been semi unprofessional. And we can talk about the quality of the refs. I think we've gone overboard with that this season. The refereeing has been pretty abysmal across the league, but so has the announcing quality in a
Yeah.
lot of different teams, especially the ones that are coming out of Tampa. Tampa. They need to, I think, step their game up a little bit.
Or a lot. He was really bad, guys. Like, I'm not even kidding. So, anything else that you guys want to point out as far as your experience in Vegas?
Oh, I mean, there's a lot to talk about. Really glad I don't live there. I mean, honestly, I can't deal with that with that kind of like density that they have in North Downtown. It's kind of disgusting. But I for the most part, the fans were pretty cool. There was the general ribbing, but some people tried to get a little strong-armed, and I don't know what the deal is, but we tend to have a lot of people try to come into our section when we travel. Everywhere we go, we have random like fans we have people from other supporter groups that try to come over and mess with us or intimidate us, and security always takes them away. But that seems to never happen whenever we have people here. Like, I don't get it. Should we be, like trying to be intimidating too, like so we can fit in with everybody? Because that seems to be the theme.
No.
I know.
It's weak.
I actually don't want that, but it's just very annoying.
John, just a heads up. People are saying that they can't hear you on the. Might need to raise your volume a little bit.
Uh-oh. Can't hear me.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Might have to raise my audio just a little bit there. Okay.
Better?
Do we I don't know if it's better. I'm coming in loud and
Yeah,
clear
you're
on
coming in
mine.
a lot better.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. So, am I coming in on YouTube? Brad?
I'm not
I
on
could be
YouTube.
checking. Yeah, we should probably get on YouTube.
Well, no, like I have it muted because I don't want to hear double.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that does make sense. But yeah, I completely
Yeah, you're
lost my
coming
train
in
of
fine.
thought.
You're coming in
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, I guess I just need to turn up my volume. I don't know why it was down. But anyway, thanks for that, Roy. for pointing that out. Yeah, more from Brad. Sorry guys, I completely lost my train of thought.
We were talking. Don't worry, we were talking about just the low level of announcing during the games.
Oh, we were also talking about the weird strong arming of like other supporter groups. Is that kind of where we left
Oh
off?
yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
don't be one of those like, oh, we need to be super masculine
Oh,
and
hell no.
aggressive towards everybody, because those are douchebags.
No,
So
everybody just kind of turned around and waved at him as he was being taken away by security, and I don't know. We just went back to watching the game, which is why we were there,
yeah,
to actually watch the game and support our boys. And speaking of support, the tifo that we brought was bigger and better than theirs, so I like claiming that credit.
I'm gonna give them credit where credit's due. They did a better job at drawing Chucky than Sacramento did, and
They
also they made him look fierce. They understand that we're better and more fierce looking, and that our giant like hair pieces are so giant that they need to be censored. So I get it. It's a compliment. I don't understand why they complimented us, but I'll take it.
Yeah, hairy ass wasn't printed. Which, fun fact, Nashville supporters printed another tifo, and they are once again the butt of all the jokes.
The back line. Oh my god.
Yep.
that's right. You don't have people. It's hard to find people as talented as you, Matt, or as other supporter groups. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's other ones that are doing great work. I mean, like Tampa Bay. I mean, like they kill it every time.
New
but
Mexico does some good junk.
They do.
Yeah.
But other groups just need to step up.
We're definitely specifically talking about Vegas.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm really, really happy about beating Vegas, because I have a lot of people I work with who are Vegas fans. They don't know anything about soccer, but I'll be like, hey, Vegas sucks. And they'd be like, well, at least we have the Knights. And I'd be like, they suck too, man. So
Never Vegas, man.
yeah, no, anyone who's Vegas, LV, the what they have the 51s too, right? So I think they
Or
renamed
whatever they
them.
are now.
Yeah, I think they renamed them. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So happy to beat Vegas. Always happy. They have the worst comebacks. I know. Like Zach posted that meme of the Sharks scoring on Fleury last year, and he also posted somebody's angry response on Reddit.
Like
And
almost violent response.
Yeah. Like it just come on. Like if you're gonna try to come back, you got to come back with something sweet. And they just Vegas supporters, the Vegas team, you really can't do that. They just don't have the comebacks, Matt. And I'm thinking specifically of one that Brad commented on. Yeah, you guys think I don't see these things on Twitter, but oh boy, I see them. And that's they have to go up to that dump in the north.
I
So who
had
really-
it open. I was ready to say
Yeah,
it.
so who really won? Brad
yeah,
responded Reno 2-0. Like what,
So
really?
yeah, Luisi Fuerza, the supporters group, said, "It's okay, Lights fans. At the end of the day, they had to go back to Reno. We got to stay here in Vegas. So who really won?" And I just responded with, "Reno did."
Yeah, I mean,
2-0.
it sounds like a big win to me.
Simple. I got more likes on it than the main post
Sure,
did from
yeah.
the supporters group with like probably triple my follow count.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. They're really not good.
Sorry,
I
like
mean,
5 times.
well, like I don't want to keep trashing on these guys, but they're just like up that trash talk. Get better at it, man. Like
Yeah.
I think they said something about how we don't have running water up here, and we're like, dude, Lake Tahoe is like 45 minutes away. Like if you're gonna make a joke, make it legit. Like, oh, I'm surprised you guys can watch heroin. I'm surprised you guys can watch a soccer game through all that heroin or something like that, right? Like, okay, haha, yeah, we have a heroin problem. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not like, oh, you guys don't have fresh water or okay.
And the team, all the
Alright.
best banter the team could do was like change our emoji into poo.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
Which that seems a little unprofessional, wouldn't you say, for
yeah.
hosts to put our actual crest as a poop emoji on the scoreboard? I know that the fans are just garbage at banter, but you don't have to make up for
Well,
them,
that's
right?
what
All
I'm
you're there to do is sell the game, right?
Matt. That's what I'm saying too. Is like that team is not good at trash talk either. It's just like they hired a 16-year-old kid, out of high school or in high school, and they're like, hey, we really need you to try to talk trash about this professional soccer team, and that's it. They're like, here, have $20 for the whole season. Do what you can.
Meanwhile, Reno's team and Truckee is getting blocked by Winalda because of like our banter
Why?
at the end. Was that your
Like-
design for the lights out that they took, or was that from their
No,
own
that's
stuff?
not me. That's all them. I
Okay.
got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, because you've done something similar, I believe.
Yeah, I have.
Making the L stand out, and Truckee was, you hate to see it walking out of the Rock Center, and he's like, sees a cute girl. She's wearing a
Yeah.
Las Vegas Lights jersey, and he's like,
Ugh.
nope.
It's just
Like-
it's so much better. Like everything is just so much better up north.
There was effort put into it, and it was like adult effort.
Oh, here, let
not
me.
like-
I'm gonna switch the camera to Matt here so we can see.
Yeah, I think Brad, this is what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean that's just a classic
so.
now.
But
Yeah.
the team did the L, right? Was that them
Yeah.
or yeah? That was
was
just
them.
brilliant. That was brilliant. I saw that and shared it right away. So a lot of fun trash talk from one side, and then we had Vegas just talking. So
In their supporters group.
if I had to challenge Vegas to improve something next year, it would be your trash talk. It's fun
I
talking
wouldn't
trash.
say improve your team. I would like to see like some
Well,
competition.
look,
come
they can
up.
improve their team all they want. It won't matter. So that's why I didn't suggest it. Like, improve your team, fine. But we're still going to beat you.
Or I challenge them to improve their traveling support. So they really have a lot of improvements to work on.
Yeah, they really do. It's almost like they started a new team and then just like stopped. They didn't get past the planning stages. So okay, enough trash talk for Vegas. I mean, we really do talk trash on Vegas every week, rightfully so.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and move on to the upcoming match on Friday. Who I actually don't know who we're playing. Who are we playing?
Tulsa.
Tulsa. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so I kind of knew who we were playing. It doesn't really matter to me because, in my opinion, once we've clinched home field playoffs, the season ended. Like for me, I know that's awful, and especially since we're probably not. I'm probably not going to see this game in person. So not that I won't watch it. I really need this team to go into playoffs winning. So we need to win this match, and by winning this match, we're going into the playoffs on a 3-match win streak, which is fantastic. That's exactly how I want to go in. Initial thoughts, guys.
This is a team that's playing spoiler. Last week they beat a New Mexico State or New Mexico United team that was up 2 men in the 94th minute. So I think there was a red card given to Tulsa, and I also believe they had an injured player, and they were tied, and Tulsa still managed to win that game. So definitely something that 100%, they can play spoiler and make it look good. As for Reno, the last time we've played them was May the 4th. It was a 2-2 draw at home. So we'll see what it looks like, though.
Matt?
All right, coughing fits over. Here we go. So yeah, like what Brad was saying, they are playing spoiler. Tulsa have been known to be a trap team rather often. I mean, I feel like every time we talk about them, every time we play them, it's like, oh, this is what you got to watch out for.
Yeah.
They can be total garbage, or they can beat anybody, and they've shown that a couple times throughout the season. Even though they did have a stronger start at the beginning, they have petered off really hard. I think they've actually had the biggest swing of positions of any team, but they do have a couple of dangerous guys out there. DaCosta, Silva, these are all guys we got to look out for that are actually going to be trying to score, that are going to be creating chances. And I mean, I don't know, like you're saying, John, we just have to win. We need to go into the playoffs winning. But this one does have some weight behind it, because if we win, then I believe that secures us in second place, and that means that we have guaranteed home matches unless we face Phoenix in the conference final.
Right.
So gotta win.
Yeah, definitely. And that's huge, and I'm glad you brought that up because that one kind of slipped my mind. Staying in second is a big deal. So here's my question to you guys. What is the game plan this week? Do we want to, of course we want to win. Do we want to rest some of our guys who have been out on the pitch all year? Do we want to go out guns blazing, go for 10 goals? What's the objective here?
A win gives us guaranteed home playoffs until the conference finals.
Yeah.
Yep.
If we win this game. I am going into this game knowing that we're going to be getting some more San Jose players. We need to see Luis Paradela on the roster to qualify for playoffs.
Yep.
I'm looking at this as we need to win this game. I'd like to see us make playoffs as a number 2 seed, which is the highest we'll ever have had. If I stand corrected, I believe.
All right, let me rephrase the question.
Oh, what do we need to win?
So,
do to win this game?
No. So, you guys are Ian Russell. It's Friday night. You guys got to pick the lineup. You guys got to figure out, are we resting guys that we want healthy throughout the playoffs, who've played every single game this year, like Duke and Brent, or are we going in guns blazing?
Guns blazing.
Right.
Guns blazing.
I'm saying guns blazing as long as Ian, if I'm Ian, if I'm given the green light from San Jose to play it how I want, we're going with, I want to say, basically the lineup that we sent out against Vegas.
Okay.
I think that actually worked out really well. The chemistry was there. I mean, a couple pieces might need to be changed here and there, but I think that the subs were smart. I think that the pairing of Jiggy and Clementa in the back line was really good. They both played very good containment defense. Not only that, Duke and Brent were doing what they do best. They were absolute maniacs up and down the sides and still got back to do damage on defense. Like, you can't. I feel like that's our back line right now.
Yeah.
Like that needs to be the one going forward.
Brad, I kind of cut you off. I don't know if do you want to finish your thought there or?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Matt. I'm going into this game guns blazing. If you do have concerns about, the wear and tear of some of our players, sub them out early.
Yeah.
Sub them out in the 55th minute and put on guys that we would like to see more of. Because even if we lose this game, we still have home playoff games until at least this conference semifinals. It's not the end of the world, and even so, the game that we'd play would most likely be against Fresno. If we do make it to the conference semifinals and have to travel on the road. So it's not a far road trip. Most of the fans are going to be willing to do that. Play the guys that you're confident with winning a game, because we want to win a game.
Yeah.
And more importantly, if you are concerned about their well-being, just sub them out. Like, at least let them go through the motions. Because just like in football, I feel like if you rest all your starters in week 17 in the 16th game, they come into the playoffs and their first couple drives are like shaky, slow, kind of weird looking. And there's some rust to shake off. Just don't leave rust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I completely agree with both of you guys. You guys know I'm a guns blazing guy. I'm guns blazing every match. But I also know the importance of keeping players fresh. So I think that what you pointed out, Brad, is a brilliant idea. Let these guys play and then sub them out early. Just because it's a good way to keep them fresh and healthy. And so, yeah, my only thing about what you were saying, Matt, is that the only reason Clementa even played was because Gill's yellow card sacked.
Oh yeah.
So
that's right.
yeah, so I don't know that we're going to see that same defense this weekend as we saw in Vegas. Be interesting. I do agree with you. I think Clementa and Janjigian played really well, but we'll have to see. I also feel comfortable with both of our goalies. Always have. So there's that.
Yep.
Matt Persano played a really good game on Saturday.
Yeah, he did an excellent job. I thought he actually, we always talk about it, but he really did shine in, controlling the field. He
Yeah.
was communicating a lot. He was giving all the players the kudos, like whenever they deserved it. Like he was a good leader.
And we can continue this conversation. I just wanted you guys to know that we've got Matt's standings up here. Do we want to talk about the standings, or do we want to just go into predictions real quick and then talk about standings?
Well, I mean, we can talk about standings a little later. We
Yeah.
had talked about playoff situations
Yes.
and everything. I
Yeah.
figured it would be a nice little visual to have. And then on the left side, I had Tulsa's schedule up,
Gotcha.
since had just been talking about them. But there's one thing I'd like to go back to real quick is, Brad, you had mentioned about cup eligibility, like Luis Paradella. There was a conversation about that on the Reddits where
Hmm.
the wording is a little gray, that it says they need to play 5 games to be eligible. Does that mean that they can just appear on the starting 18 or on the game day 18, or do they actually have to play minutes?
I don't know.
There, yeah,
I'm
that's what I'm
not
saying.
an
Like
expert.
it's a big gray area.
Right.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
We'll know in the postseason. Either way, I see Paradella could get subbed on this game if he's made available after his little stint with the Cuban team. Which, congrats to him for that. Not really a game that you're happy with the result if you're Cuba.
But if you're in the United
8-0.
States, you're happy.
It's not. If it was like us versus a team that's in the top like 100 of all teams in the world, Cuba's not that high in
Oh,
FIFA.
it doesn't matter. A win's a win, especially for this United States team that you really don't know what you're going to get.
Hmm. But speaking of Matt and having the playoffs open, or the playoffs, the rankings open, Fresno does play Orange County this week as a reference. So there is that whole, Orange County's fighting for a home game because top 4 get home games in the
Right.
second round.
Right.
So if Orange County does win this weekend against Fresno at home, Fresno is gonna be sitting in third, guaranteed, and Orange County will move up to fourth. Dependent on Real Monarch and their game this weekend. Or actually, they have 2 games left, so Orange County will be fighting for playoff position.
What
for sure.
what a turnaround season from Orange County.
Yeah,
Starting
good on
out
them.
so not good, and then just coming out all of a sudden they're 5th in the West. That's
It's
something.
kind of insane.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We've got 2 predictions from people in the comments here. So we're gonna go ahead and move into predictions. We're gonna have Matt, you go first since the camera's already on you. What do we got?
Okie dokie. I'm going to say that it's going to be a tougher battle than we expect. It's going to be a little nail biting, but Reno's going to come up on top 2-1, and we're going to get goals from Corey, since he should have had one in this last game, and I want to say Lindo.
Okay. Corey and Lindo en route to a 2-1 win.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Brad, what you got?
I'm gonna say it's going to be 3-0. I like the way the defense has been playing recently. Kind of independent of whoever's playing on the back line. I think that they've been pretty good.
Yeah.
So give me 3-0, give me Corey 2, and you know what? I'd like to see Haji score again if he's in the
Cool.
lineup.
Yeah. All right, guys. Bear with me on this one. I just feel it. I'm feeling a draw. I'm feeling like it's going to be the same as last time. 2-2. Yeah, I know.
Can we boo him now?
Okay.
Like, is it
Yep.
acceptable for me to boo him
No, I
now?
just feel it. I feel it in my jellies.
Did you say 1-1 or 2-2?
2-2.
Who
Yeah.
do you have scoring?
I've got Corey Herzog scoring, and I've got Duke Lacroix. I'm going with Duke until he scores, guys. But I just I don't know.
I hate to say it. See you next season with that prediction.
I mean,
Just-
hey, you know what? I can predict home playoffs. That make you feel any better? So
See you next year with that prediction. Oh.
so yeah, I just it's I don't know, man. I don't feel like 1868's I don't feel like Reno's defense is as good as it can be. And I feel like what Matt was saying is right about Tulsa and I think that they're going to come out a game team, try to finish out the season strong. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I guess we'll have to see. I'm crossing my fingers
Look,
that's not the case.
Look, if I'm wrong, it's either going to be good wrong or bad wrong. I'm hoping it's good wrong. So
I'm just hoping that they're ready for that summer vacation coming up. You know, that early vacation from the end
Right.
of the season.
yeah, right.
You know, no summer school like we have, unfortunately. Oh man.
So we've got 2 predictions right now in the comments. And since they joined us, they get them read out on air. First is from Roy. He's got a 2-0 win for Reno. Got Corey and Duke scoring. I actually didn't even see that he chose the same scorers. But we chose different scores. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully you're right, Roy. Hopefully you two are as well. Then we've got Harry, who also predicts a draw. 1-1. Feels like Tulsa is playing better after the sale, and he also predicts Corey Herzog with a goal. He also predicts Fresno won't win again this season. And
I mean, there's a possibility
Hot
if they're
take.
playing Orange County.
I don't think Orange County is going to lose this match.
Yeah, if Orange
Yeah.
County.
Can you
yeah.
bring up the standings again, please, Matt?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
All right, here we go.
Cool. So let's
I'll
take
make 'em there.
let's take another look at that, because I kind of wanted to see if Orange County does beat Fresno, and then my prediction comes true, and Reno does play to a draw. Can you zoom out just a wee bit more, Matt?
Zoom out
Yeah, or go a little bit to the right, because it's
to the right.
yes. There you go.
there?
All right, that's perfect.
Okay,
All right, so
my
we
bad.
got no, it's all good. So we got Reno with 57 points, tied with Fresno, meaning that Monarchs will not catch up to us. So if my prediction comes true, and my second prediction comes true of Orange County beating Fresno, then Reno still gets second seed.
I'm just looking at this, and if Fresno does lose or tie this match,
Uh-huh.
and we have a point out of our match, that guarantees us second.
Yeah.
Fresno stuck in third; they can't go down to fourth. Orange County is looking at very likely to be stuck in fifth, unless something goes wrong and Sacramento passes them
Right.
with 3 points. Third place would play Orange County. So Fresno's either looking at playing Sacramento, Austin Bold, or El Paso realistically, depending on who ends up in that 6th place. If they stay in third, otherwise we play one of those 3 teams. So I don't know if it's Orange County. I think Fresno might be able to beat any of those teams, but if they do play Orange County the following week,
Mhm.
I think Orange County's just streaking too
Yeah.
hard right now.
Yeah, I think so too. Also, Fresno has not been itself lately.
Mhm.
A lot of inconsistencies. So I'm feeling like Fresno is probably going to go into the playoffs with a loss. Orange County will go in with a W. Rail Monarchs are playing some team.
I'll find that.
They are playing a team for sure. They're playing Austin and Sac for the
Okay.
last 2.
Yeah,
Oh, they still
Austin
have
after
2
the
matches,
passing.
which means what? They've got a Wednesday and a Saturday.
they have
Yeah,
a
like-
Wednesday
Okay.
this week. It was rescheduled after the
What
passing.
a
of
tough
Promise
way
Isaac.
to end the season.
It's not how it was scheduled. That match was this Wednesday's
Yep.
match
Oh,
was
it was?
rescheduled from
Okay.
the passing of Promise Isaac.
Oh, right. Okay, so
And then the sack game's going to be huge for them. That's playoff positioning right there.
yes, yeah. So
I'm calling it though. Like Monarchs are in 4th at the end of the season.
yeah,
Yeah, I
they're
don't.
staying where they are.
Sack for sure can't pass them. It's between the Monarchs and Orange County for
So
fourth.
you're thinking that? So I'm predicting Orange County wins this last match, which means Matt, you think that Rail Monarchs are going to be able to at least pull out 4 points?
I think so. I really do. And
Technically, they can come into second place if they win both.
They
Yeah, I
could.
mean, they need a lot to go their way.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
but I could see, ugh. You know, yeah, that's a tough one. I really don't know.
So-
They're one of those teams that I think their last game, the last one they won against Phoenix, they had a good handful of MLSers. I think Salt Lake's been dumping some players down in this playoff push.
So
just- Go ahead.
sorry, I'm like doing some math in my head as well. So Rail Monarchs, as somebody as Basement 440 in our comments says, if we don't win, SLC can catch us.
Yeah.
Hmm. Even if we don't, even if we draw, they could technically still catch us if their goal differential is better. Right now, we're up 3 in goal differential.
Right.
Yeah, as Harry's saying, Monarchs can get second if they win both, and both Reno and Fresno lose. But I mean, we're talking some pretty high odds there.
Yeah.
That's asking a lot.
Yeah. We'll need a draw or a win for the Rail Monarchs to not catch us.
Either way, we're in the playoffs as it stands right now.
And Rail Monarchs has some decent teams coming up, especially in SAC, which would be their season closure, right? So
Yep.
They have Austin Bold and Sac, 6 and 7.
So in Austin Bold, 6 and 7, right? So yeah, in some interesting conversations coming up. A lot of really cool what ifs. But the what if we want is what if Reno stays where we are and gets second place. That's what we're shooting for as fans. I do want to point out a fun conversation from Roy. He posted, "Whatever happens, we want Austin at home because then Restrepo will be in front of the cage." And that dude is susceptible to some trash talk.
Oh, he's our good friend.
Yeah. So Austin Bold would be a lot of fun coming to town for playoffs. Just really happy to have a home playoff game. And I feel like it's been in the making. We've been slowly getting better, and now we're finally gonna have one, boys. Pretty exciting stuff. I think
this is our second home playoff game. We had one in the first season. I meant to correct you last.
Oh right,
episode.
you're right. Yeah.
The beer throwing.
Yeah, I know that's. Yeah. Well, we don't have to mention that every time.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk about it.
So.
Oh yeah, that thing, right?
Yeah,
right,
no.
right,
Wait, what happened? I don't know.
See, that might be why I forgot about it. Is because it's repressed memory now.
Yeah.
And you just brought up some real demons, Brad. All right, so we got another conversation started from Harry here. So here's my question: Is the play-in game really the playoffs?
Sure, it's a wild card round.
Yeah.
More or less. I mean, it counts. They made it to the postseason. There's no more regular season happening. It's the playoffs.
Technically, baseball doesn't count the wild cards as the playoffs.
Yeah, it's true, but technically, football does.
And also, technically, playoffs aren't exactly inherently soccer thing. So we're kind of making it up as we go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. The wild card weekend for football, though, is 2 teams get a bye from each conference, and then the other remaining teams fight it out. In soccer, in our league, like the top 6 get a bye. I don't really consider that as playoffs then, because most of the teams in the playoffs aren't playing. You only have 8 out of 20 teams playing.
I feel like weekend. I would personally count it as playoffs.
I don't.
Because it's not the regular season anymore. There's no such thing as between regular season and playoffs. It's either regular season or it's playoffs. And if you
call it a tiebreaker.
No, tiebreaker would be playoffs.
I know.
Is it a bye though if it's a midweek game but everybody still plays that weekend?
No.
So I mean, it's not a bye week, so it's playoffs.
Yeah.
Brad, I think your arguments are just crumbling here now.
They're only crumbling because because he's outnumbered.
Oh no, I'm not oh no.
All right, well Brad loses. That's the consensus. From Basement 440, 8 of the teams in the top 10, except us and Los Dos, is playing another top 10 on Saturday.
It's
how interesting is
like
that?
A decision day.
Yeah, really. A decision day for a good amount of teams. Mm-hmm. Who's Los Dos playing? I mean, you guys don't have to look it up. I don't really care. I was just kind of curious. So
Vegas.
I'm making conversation.
Yeah,
Vegas is playing New Mexico.
Oh, El Paso. Wait, is El Paso not top 10 anymore?
I don't think.
No.
Here we
I
El
don't
are.
think so.
Paso is 8th. Yeah, those
Oh,
definitely a
well,
top 10 too.
Tacoma.
my bad.
And so an interesting tidbit from Roy that
Oh.
also kind of bolsters our argument, Matt, is that playoffs is lose or go home.
Yes,
Yes.
that I feel like that's the
So,
defining
yeah,
factor right there.
we go. Roy wins it for us. And Brad has to now leave the show forever because he lost.
Happy trails to you.
And there's Brad's wonderful hairless face. Actually, I think he's got some goatee thing going on there. I can't really tell. All right, anyway, San Antonio FC is playing the Colorado Switchbacks.
Yep.
Yeah, we were talking, Harry, we pointed out the fact that El Paso Locomotives are playing Los Dos.
Yeah, we had mentioned that game, your game earlier, saying that it's kind of your playoffs to get into. It's in your hands because you're playing Colorado Springs. All you got to do is you just got to beat them. Gotta beat 18th place.
Yep. Which is doable, I would hope.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a playoff team and you can't beat last place, then you don't belong in the playoffs. I'm sorry. Life comes at you fast sometimes, and sometimes the last place team will beat you.
It's a nice variation on the Ferris Bueller quote.
Yeah. So, all right, we've got. I think we can probably jump into some random thoughts. Although I'm appreciating all the comments we're getting today. So if you guys, we're going to go into random thoughts, but if any of you in the comments want to offer any conversation tidbits or some more stuff on playoffs or any kind of soccer questions whatsoever, give us a holler. Until we get something like that, we're going to go into random thoughts. Brad, what is your random thought?
All right, so first part of the random thought is that drive back was interesting. I was driving at up at a reasonable 75, 80 miles an hour up from Vegas, and a car passed me going what I imagine was 110 because 30 seconds later they were out of view 2 miles down the road, just driving something insane. I caught up to them. I didn't change my speed. How? They got pulled over by a cop. Drive safe out there, people. Come on. That type of speed is reckless, especially on a 2-lane road. You're liable to kill someone, if not yourself. Please drive safe out there. And while we're speaking of it, I stopped by the wonderful town of Tonopah on my way through and went to Tonopah Brewing Company. I got my beer recommendation back. Paid some unreasonable prices for a 6-pack. They had to individually can each one, but this beer I got is a IPA with ghost pepper in it. It's actually
back it up just a little bit. It can't focus. There you go.
That sounds fantastic, though.
That does sound
It actually is. It's called Molten Silver. The heat comes up front, very upfront heat, and then it just kind of dissipates into a hoppy taste. So it's actually not a bad drink. Definitely would suggest drinking this if you ever find yourself in the middle of Nevada at Tonopah. I don't know exactly why you would go to the middle of Nevada.
Well, I guess
in
if you're
Tonopah.
going to Vegas.
Yeah, but I say the flight's worth the money if you can book it out in advance, though.
Yeah. Real quick, we got in between final thoughts here or random thoughts. Roy says Zach Carroll needs to get a game on Saturday. He's the best center half we have. Thoughts? Zach Carroll's been a hot topic amongst fans.
Yeah, we haven't really seen a whole lot of him. There's not really a lot of insight as to why he's not. I think the pairings, like I've said before, the pairings we've had have been working here and there, and they're getting the job done. But I would like to see my skipper back.
So here's a fun fact, Roy, and I know you'll appreciate this. And Brad can back me up on this because he has been present when I've gotten this response. I am not getting anything but generic answers about Zach. So whatever the heck may be happening, why he's not on the pitch anymore, why he's not captain anymore, I'm not getting a straight answer from anybody. It's the generic answer, and that generic answer is, well, Reno 1868 FC's got a lot of depth, and we've got a lot of guys fighting for positions, and things are working out with the guys we have right now, and people are fighting. You know, you've got to you give the position to somebody else, and the other guy just has to fight harder for it. You guys know the generic
Politician talk, yeah.
right? And so, and it's gotten to the point where whenever Zach Carroll's name pops up, I always ask, "Am I going to get the generic answer?" And thankfully, and Brad's laughing about this is because it's happened.
Long answer, what
And-
you said. Short answer, competition.
Yeah, and what I'll get is a yes or no, and then we'll just move on with our lives. So I promise you guys, I've been pressing the powers that be about it, but I just haven't gotten anything out of it. So I think I definitely agree with you, Roy. I like Zach a lot. I think he's a very strong player, especially when he's with Clementa. But that's all I got for you, man. I've been trying. I really have been. So Matt, random thought.
I mean, I guess it's kind of random. It pertains to this weekend, but I just really appreciate the effort that everybody put to traveling down there, and actually getting there and being there to support our boys and being as absolutely loud as you can and as annoying as you can to the other, to the Las Vegas fans, and especially because a good chunk of them were in Anaheim, for the entire week before. They're already worn out, but everybody really pushed and gave their all, and I can't thank everybody enough. That was an amazing night.
Yeah, I'm really happy that all you guys had a good time. I think like in the future, I definitely want to travel with you guys more. So, and when I say with you guys, I really do mean all of the fans, not just the Battleborn Brigade, but everyone who travels, because I love hanging out with you guys. I like I talked to Hunter on our last home match a couple of weeks ago, and I thought I feel like I never talked to these guys, and so I feel like that's traveling with you guys would be a lot of fun, and that's definitely going to be a goal next year. We were talking about the things that Vegas does or Vegas needs to improve on. Well, there are a lot of things that I feel like the podcast also needs to improve on, and one of those things is I have never gotten a picture of one of our players anywhere but in Reno. And so I'd really like that to change, and I'd really like to be able to talk and to talk with people who are away. And not only that, but I want to have more guests on the show from different podcasts. So, and I think during the off season, that's something I want to work on, especially since there's less of a conversation without USL play going on. We can be like, hey, do you want to be on the show? Like, we're just going to talk some soccer and some other random stuff since we're in the off season. Then you guys really get to know that person. And then not only that, but then you guys think, hey, I really like this guy. I might check out their podcast. Like we all work together in the BGN family. And definitely the soccer podcast family. So I guess that would count as my random thought, but that's not going to be my random thought because I really wanted to talk about Chinese history. And I know that sounds ridiculous, guys. But all right, so look, there's this game franchise called Total War, and I'm a huge fan of it. And I just got the Three Kingdoms one, which is about ancient China. And I actually haven't really played it, but I'm super excited to. And it just made me realize a lot of, the three of us on the show, where we appreciate anime. I think Matt and I a little bit more than Brad. But I think when you usually talk about like Asian, like history and Asian art and everything, you think of Japan, right? I don't know about Matt. Matt, is that kind of where your mindset's at?
No, I mean, typically for a couple hundred years, the entire country was obsessed with art. Like, it makes sense.
Sure. So,
Yeah.
But Chinese art and Chinese culture is so amazing. And it's such a bummer because, right now you have this kind of aggression between the United States and China. And I think that it's kind of always, been building up. But, yeah, that's really my random thought. Like, that's as random as it gets. I've just come to the conclusion that Chinese culture is really amazing, aside from communism. So that's where we're at with my random thought. We're getting a bunch of comments here, but it looks
See,
like
that
there's
is
what's that?
rather random. I was gonna say that's maybe the most random we've gotten on here. Well done, man.
Yeah,
Well done.
thank the wonderful folks at Creative Assembly for making Total War and getting me into different cultures and stuff. They have a Troy one coming up, which I'm super excited for. All right, let's see. So let's see. Oh, I gotta go back far. What's going on here? Stop
But
talking.
basically what
Brad.
you're trying to say is learn more about other people, right?
Brad needs to stop replying back in because then it just extends the conversation way back. So San Jose apparently are saying to start Cruz, and Zach is getting the short end of the stick, and that's what Roy thinks is going on. And I think that very well could be a contributor. Of course, I can't confirm that because I haven't been able to get anything out of anybody about it. But I think that could be a possibility. And then Brad replied, Brad replied, interestingly, that when Cruz was suspended for the week because of the accumulation, Emra filled in and not Zach. So that's an interesting point there, Brad. Here's another interesting one. And we've been asked this several times. I'm sure you guys have seen the conversation pop up on Twitter. And that's if there are any stadium talks for Reno. And he said he knows that the USL wants to get out of baseball fields. So I can tell you guys that from a city perspective, since I work at Colo and I read a bunch of press releases and see all the shenanigans happen, as far as I know, there are no proposed talks of a new stadium in Reno. Gentlemen, would you guys prefer Reno have its own soccer field, or is Greater Nevada Field kind of good enough for now?
I mean, if I'm comparing Greater Nevada Field to like Vegas's field, I'm happy at our home.
Yeah.
The league wants plans for soccer stadiums by 2021. Otherwise, they're kind of looking at removing some teams for other teams that are going to have individual stadiums, because that individual stadium thing is a thing that they want for the appearance of the league. So yeah, I do want that stadium. I don't care if it's like all the way out in like middle of nowhere Sparks.
I do.
Give me a stadium. I want a stadium in Reno.
Matt, you had a response. Go for it.
Well, okay. Well, initially, just like the last little bit, I feel like it needs to be a little central. It can't be out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
Yeah.
Smaller markets have shown that does not work. So if it's not going to be downtown or around Midtown, then I'm okay with staying in Greater Nevada until they can find one that works in that area. It's kind of a toss-up. I want a proper soccer field. I want, even if the bare bones, to have like stands on all sides, contain the noise, contain the atmosphere. It's just a lot more fun that way. But I'm willing to give up the decent amenities that Greater Nevada Field has for that. If they got to cart out taco trucks and whatnot, I'm fine with that.
That sounds
But
awesome.
It does sound really good.
It's not like the whole
Reno
10 different place experience.
Sure, but Reno is blessed as far as food trucks is concerned. So if they want to bring in some food trucks, we're good with it,
I am absolutely okay with that. But like Greater Nevada Field, it's pretty modern.
Yeah.
It's well kept, and there are lots of food and drink options. So it's kind of a toss up, but give me soccer specific, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us a championship soccer park in Orange County. It's small, it's homey. They bring in taco trucks and grilled cheese trucks and a California pizza kitchen stand. Give me that. It's small, but that can't cost too much to build.
So I want to throw something your way, Matt, and then I'm going to address a conversation that Harry just brought up, and then we got to bounce out. So
Okay.
I think we might be able to find a sustainable soccer area in South Reno. Like I know it's far away from downtown, but I feel like it's possible that we find a good place down here for a soccer pitch.
Okay.
I mean, there's
what area are you thinking?
So I'm thinking a little bit. When I say South Reno, I'm not thinking as far back as Summit. I'm thinking kind of by
Meadows, Tamani?
Not even that far back actually. I'm thinking around. You guys ever drive up on Neil?
Yeah.
Right before when it becomes Kitsky.
Yeah.
Right there, right that roundabout.
Interesting. Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I know it's a weird spot.
Like the convention center area?
Yeah, close-ish.
Or no,
somewhat,
that's
yeah.
more the Olive Garden area.
All right, so I'm more or less talking like you guys know because there's a giant field. I mean, I actually think it's becoming something now, but I think this area would be a good spot for it. Right, like I'm talking right by the freeway, right by that roundabout on when it becomes Kidski.
Yeah, I think just anything off the freeway
Yeah,
that's in like the spine of the main population. So really anything around along 395
or
that's
I-80.
easy to get to.
Yeah, either or, but you got to be close to one of those.
Mhm.
And I think that'd be a good spot, honestly. Then not only would you use it for Reno 1868 FC, you can potentially use it for any other kind of stuff going on. I mean, like call it college soccer, high school soccer, because those fields at UNR are really great fields, but you don't want to if you have any kind of inclement weather or something, you want to go to an actual field. And then that's what that facility can be used for. I think that would be a solid place for it.
Yeah.
And you get like
I'm into it, man.
I know it sounds weird. Like, look, I agree with you. The best place would be downtown somewhere, but I feel like if you can't get downtown, that might not be a bad option. And
It's 5 minutes down the freeway.
sure,
from
yeah.
downtown.
And for years, I've been seeing that place be nothing but nothing. You know, I think they're finally starting to do stuff with it now. But I think that'd be an interesting spot for a ball field. So real quick, we gotta run through this really fast because we're a little bit over. Harry tagged the podcast in a conversation about academy teams and whether or not Reno has one. Reno does not have an academy team, but I think it'd be an interesting prospect. What do you guys think?
I mean, aren't we kind of an academy team? I mean, it would be nice. I would like to see a little more of a pyramid within the organization, and especially cheer for those guys that fight their way from the bottom, up to our team, and everybody would embrace them because they've actually put in the work to do that.
And any thoughts, Brad?
What was the question again?
All right, so
All
I
right.
think we're just gonna
Bruh.
go off on that. Real quick though, Roy confirmed that area that I was talking about is being developed, and so is and Matt confirmed that the area next to the Auto Museum is being worked on as well.
I've
And then
wanted that one from the start.
developing Moana Field might not actually be a bad idea either. Although I've heard tale that they're working on putting another swimming pool over there. So
Boo.
yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, that won't affect the soccer teams or soccer fields. So that might be cool. That's a good spot, I think, Moana. It's like right in the middle of town. Yeah, not too shabby. All right, we gotta go. So we're pretty good amount over. Brad, will you please say those magic words and get us out of here?
Thank you guys for everything you do. As always, for listening, watching, subscribing to our YouTube. I gotta plug that, even though we're not doing social media. In Ian we trust, and
Vamos,
Vamos
Azules.
Azules.
thanks, y'all.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody.